Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the cottage. I'm Joey, the Veiled Cottage Witch, and today we are doing another bonus episode of my Magickal Plant Series. I know I said I was done, but I acquired a new herb, and as promised, here's another episode. So today we're talking about hemlock. This is a baneful herb, so I'm not going to get it out and touch it. But this is an herb that I plan on using in a very special product. So wait till the end and I'll let you know what I'm going to use it for. So the scientific name is Conium maculatum, which is such an easy word to say, and I'm so glad I got it right. So the folk names are poison parsley, spotted hemlock, deadly hemlock, woady whistle, and devil's porridge, warlock's weed, winter fern, and water parsley. I think I like warlock's weed. I think that's my favorite. So the name hemlock is for the poisonous plant, originates from Old English hemlick or heimlice, recorded in Kentish dialect, which was used to describe the poisonous smelling herb. So it smells like it's poisonous, whatever that means, right? So it likely derives from the root meaning poison or something bad, with the suffix ling or ig. And it's unrelated to the North American coniferous tree Tsuga, Tsuga, which adopted the name in the 1670s due to the smell of its foliage resembling the plant. So the hemlock tree is different than the hemlock plant. Two different, totally different things. So just putting that out there. So hemlock, both the herb and separately the eastern hemlock tree, is steeped in dark folklore, symbolizing death, witchcraft, dark witchcraft, and the devil. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I know. I'm silly. Historically tied to the execution of Socrates, this guy right here, it's associated with purple streaked stems of cane, and we'll look at that in a little bit. Magical flight ointments, and the belief that the tree shadows a future grave. So we're going to explore all of these legends as we take a look at this dark, baneful plant. So if that sounds good to you, stick around. You just might learn something new. So hemlock is a poisonous plant that has been used since antiquity. It is one of the most common plants associated with witches in Europe, particularly in Britain, where I'm from. So naturally, I have an affinity towards this plant. And like many of the baneful herbs, hemlock is connected to Hecate and Saturnus. It was also used by the infamous sorceresses Circe and Medea, who are Hecate's daughters, to dispatch many of their male enemies. Yeah, this plant is not very nice to men. Just as a warning, okay? So this also relates to the plant's ability to destroy male potency, virility, and sexual drive. It shuts it down, basically. It has been used in folk magic to ruin sexual urges and in spells of chastity. So we start off the folklore there, get right to it. So the variety native to Europe was originally referred to in folklore as witch's weed. So conium comes from the Greek word conus, meaning to spin or to whirl, likely from the vertigo caused when the plant is consumed. Yeah, it'll make you dizzy. I haven't tried it, of course. I have not tried it. I will not ingest it. That's not what I bought it for. I'll share that later. Stick around. I know. Stick around. I will tell you. It causes a feeling of dizziness and movement, even when sitting still. So think about when you have the spinnies, when you're really, really drunk and you're laying down and the world is still spinning. I haven't been that drunk in a long time, but I still remember that. Yeah. When taken in small amounts or rubbed on the skin, this dangerous plant is said to give one the sensation of gliding through the air. This may be why it is connected to witches' flying ointments in medieval Europe. Poison hemlock can be distinguished from other varieties sharing the same common name by the delicate serration in its leaves, as well as the purple spotting that is characteristic of this variety, appropriately known as the mark of Cain. Now, in folklore, the purple blotchy streaks on the stem of the poison hemlock plant are believed to represent the mark of Cain, the brand placed on Cain's brow after he murdered his brother Abel. This association stems from traditions linking the plant to evil, witchcraft, and the biblical curse of wandering, straying from one's path, so to speak. Now, it is said that ancient Sumerians used the plant to bring about plagues and pestilence, and conversely, to expel them. Intention is everything, right? Its suffocating side effects connected to the noose and the dark goddess in her strangler aspect. I kind of love that term. An ancient translation associated with Lilith and the dark goddess Kali. Now, the fame of this old Germanic funerary herb was no doubt given a boost by the ancient Greeks. For some centuries, it was the Athenian state poison for executions and was responsible for the death of many famous historical figures such as Socrates, Theramenes, and Phocion. I think I'm saying that right. I hope I'm saying that right. It is also given particular attention by the Germans, who believe it to be a plant of great hatred and claim it harbors special resentment for other plants that are more favored by the people, such as rue, for which its distaste is so strong that it will grow nowhere near it. It's like it had spite against rue. It has a personal vendetta against rue. Like, leave rue alone, all right? It's doing it best as can. Some historical accounts remark on death by hemlock to be violent and characterized by choking and convulsions. This is why we don't ingest it, folks. This is a good example of why it helps to be aware of mistranslations or misidentifications. Convulsions are a symptom of water hemlock, the Cicuta family, and not Conium maculatum. True hemlock was chosen by the Greeks for its careful, slow nature. Death by hemlock takes several hours. Can you imagine? Yeah, and is so gradual that many doses were not immediately fatal and may have needed to be topped off during the execution. This was the case in the execution of Phocion, an Athenian statesman known for his honesty. According to an account of proceedings, the initial dose of hemlock wasn't enough to finish the deed, and taking advantage of his position as the only one qualified to administer more, the executioner refused to prepare a second dose unless he was paid extra. I can't blame him there. Now, under certain conditions, this is a sensitive subject, so If you are triggered by the word suicide, please skip this part. So, under certain conditions, suicide was seen to be noble in the time of the ancient Greek Empire. And in these cases, use of it was often sanctioned. Yeah. On the Aegean island of Sia, modern-day Kos, look how beautiful this island is, inhabitants, upon reaching a certain age or feeling as though they had achieved all that they would in life, would take hemlock so as not to be a burden in their old age. There was a law in Marseille that existed at this time stating that it was unlawful to take your own life without regulation. However, those who wished to do so, usually out of a desire not to be a burden on their younger generations, could speak their case before the Senate and give the reasons for their wish. If the Senate agreed that the motives were lawful and not forced by others, they would allow the person access to a poison prepared from hemlock. Yeah. I can't make this stuff up, you guys. It was a noble thing to do. So there you go. All right. On to medicinal properties. Now, historically, it was used to treat nervous excitability, mania, epilepsy, rabies, and to relieve pain in conditions like cancer. Externally, it was used in traditional remedies and in rare regulated cases for treating mastitis, tumors, and hemorrhoids. The active agent it contains was an alkaloid conium, which acts as a sedative and antispasmodic. However, it is extremely toxic. Ingestion of small amounts can lead to even small amounts. I'm going to reiterate. Ingestions of small amounts can lead to paralysis, respiratory failure, and death. Please be so careful with hemlock, okay? Please just use it in your magical practice. Okay. Now, poison hemlock should not be used by anyone. Unless you are a trained herbalist, okay? It has a very narrow margin between a therapeutic dose and a lethal one. So when I use hemlock, I use a very tiny amount and only externally and never on a skin that is broken or a wound that is an open wound. You never ever want to ingest it, and you never ever want to put it on an open wound. My suggestion is to use it magically. You can make, if it's something that you want to use it for medicinally, use it in a poppet. As above, so below. It works medicinally when you use it magically, okay? All right. Now, symptoms of poisoning. This is how you know. Dizziness, trembling, numbness, and then paralysis. So, if you start to have any of those symptoms, go to the emergency room. For children, it is extremely unsafe. Ingestion can be fatal. So make sure you keep it in a jar, tight, and put way up high. Okay? Okay. My job is done. On to magical properties. The element is water. The energy is receptive. The planet is Saturn, and the day of the week it is most potent is Saturday. So magically, hemlock can be used to paralyze a person or situation, which corresponds to its chemical action on the nervous system. The plant causes death through respiratory failure and acts on the peripheral nervous system, causing coldness, depression, paralysis, and weakness. Take extreme caution when handling this herb and do not ingest. Yeah, I said all of that again, just to make sure you understand. Okay? It is involved in astral travel like other plants that loosen the soul from the body. It is very easy to go into trance when using this herb. As a powerful herb of consecration and protection, it can be used in oils to anoint ritual tools and destructive charms. Hemlock has an earthy and watery nature base on its large chambered root and affinity for growing near streams. Used to paralyze negative situations, break curses, and aid in deep, transformative, or destructive magic. Often used for astral projection and to access deep, meditative, or trance-like states. It is deeply connected to Hecate, the goddess of magic and the crossroads. So if you work with her or you're interested in working with her, you can use hemlock as an herb to offer as an offering, or to use in magic dedicated to her. Okay? It's associated with death, rebirth, and strength in overcoming obstacles. So any magic that you do, hemlock is good with those purposes. Okay? Now, this is a rite of consecration. When you're consecrating tools, using hemlock infusion. So just a couple of little tricks that I found. So hemlock can be used to consecrate and empower ritual tools such as a sword, a sickle, an athame, which is your black-handled double-edged dagger, or bowline, which is your white-handled ritual knife to cut herbs and such. A water-based infusion or ritual oil can be made using a small amount of dried hemlock. Avoid using fresh plant material as it is more toxic. If you are using the water infusion, you can heat the blade in the flame of a candle and plunge it into the liquid to help fuse the vibrations. An anointing oil can be used in a similar manner by applying it from the tip of the blade to the base of the handle. If the handle is wooden, it can also be applied there. So it's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. To make the liquid, add a pinch, very little, of plant material to a bowl of water, and you place on your altar or outdoors under the full moon or full sun, whichever you feel is appropriate, and let their vibrations mingle overnight or during the day. Again, your preference. For me, I feel like baneful herbs need to be overnight. So that's my thinking. So take it or leave it. So that's a little bit of a technique you can use to consecrate your tools. Now, finding hemlock. I had to find hemlock on Etsy. Etsy sells rare dried herbs. So you can always search Etsy. I would not recommend Amazon, as I don't trust that they take very good care of their plants. As far as rare plants like this, Etsy tends to be a little more careful and thoughtful with their plants. So my advice, take it or leave it. Personal uses. I'm almost out of flying ointment, which means I need to make some more. And I'm going to make a level 2 which is going to have hemlock and belladonna in it. I'm so excited about that. It's going to have some of the other things that I normally use in my flying ointment. It's going to have yarrow in it. It's going to have mugwort in it and poppy seed, but it's also going to have a tiny bit of hemlock and a tiny bit of belladonna. So I'm very excited about that level 2. I can't wait to try it out and to show you guys. So excited about that. As soon as it's available, I will let you guys know and I will put it up in my shop. So excited. So that was hemlock. I hope you enjoyed this bonus episode of my Magickal Plant series. Please give this video a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Please visit my website at theveiledcottagewitch.com, where you can book a reading, book a service, book a class, book a workshop. Some of my classes that are one-on-one are available online. Just send me a message and I will schedule you. We can discuss the logistics and all of that. You can also shop my online store where I have holistic healing products and ritual and spell aids. Just remember to, at checkout, to punch in the code word, all caps, veiled, to get your free shipping. That is my gift from me to you just for making it to the end of this video. So don't forget to do that. If you'd like to financially support this channel, leave me a little tip. You can do so. There are quite a few ways to do that down in the description box. Much appreciated, but not necessary. Just live your best life and live for yourself. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.